Arsenal fans, where you are, it looks like this January transfer window looks like it's going to be yours. With you guys chasing for Mikhailo Modric, one of the most credible journalists as far as transfers are concerned. He's in tier 1, known as David Austin, has gone ahead to reveal to us that Arsenal are seriously in for Joao Felix. Can you imagine? I think this is a story that is worth ending our day with or winding it up, because it is really so much important to you guys to know that Arsenal are seriously in for Joao Felix, because rumors were everywhere indicating that maybe Arsenal had pulled out of the Joao Felix deal. But the fact is they are still in it, and he has been offered to them by his agent, that is George Mendes, and we are waiting to see what the results are really going to be. But we are also going to talk about Cody Gakpo being unveiled by Liverpool. The signing is done and dusted. And last, we're going to talk about the expected Arsenal players to be sold in the January transfer window, and obviously the race is being led by Fulham. They want to go out and sign Cedric from Arsenal. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. This is the YouTube channel that does exclusively all your footballing team news apart from Manchester United. And if at all you want to see me do United stuff, check out a channel known as United Matters channel. That's the place to be, and obviously we are always there to really mingle up with the latest news and information of Manchester United only. But here we are diverse, we are divergent. That's why we are really Rokani Media Football. And let's get into the first story of the day. Now, appearing on the NBC Sports Center, that is David Austin today, he has said the following on Arsenal. He said they are also keen to sign Joao Felix on loan from Atletico Madrid. He's been offered to a number of clubs, but at the moment, numbers are too high. The numbers would need to come down for a deal with Arsenal to happen. So he's confirming to us that Arsenal are really keen to sign a player known as Joao Felix. When you look at Joao Felix, he's been one of those players that you'd love to see at Arsenal, because Arsenal are really a team that is depleted as far as the front line is concerned when Gabriel Jesus is out injured, meaning that if you bring in Joao Felix, you're adding in goals and creativity to that Arsenal side. And when you get any injury in the front three areas, Joao Felix can come up and fit there. If Bukayo Saka gets an injury, Joao Felix can play as a right-hand midfielder very well. If Martinelli gets an injury, he can play there very well, or Mikhailo Modric, and you can lead the line with either him or Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus. And secondly, if it's a game like that of Fulham, when you need numbers up front in the final third of the opponent to open up the watertight defense that has been put there by the opponent you're playing, like your Arsenal was playing against West Ham, you can get on Joao Felix on the field of play to join Eddie Nketiah and get one of the midfielders out to see to it that you enforce your team, to see to it that it creates lots of chances to create openings in that opponent's defense. Joao Felix can do it. You can even play Joao Felix and Gabriel Jesus on the same team as two attacking forwards doing the needful, because Joao Felix can drop deep in the midfield and really bring that ball for Gabriel Jesus, and obviously reducing the distance that Gabriel Jesus covers when he's playing for Arsenal. The reason as to why Gabriel Jesus covers all that distance is because he doesn't get the ball as he wants it. That's why most of the times he is so much in the build-up of the goal making of Arsenal than in the scoring, because he goes deep, gets that ball, and then initiates the attack. But if at all you get Joao Felix, he can aid you to do all that, and Gabriel Jesus will find himself in a better position to score, because he's one of the clinical number 9s we've seen in the Premier League. That is Joao Felix coming into Arsenal. So Arsenal has every reason to go in for Joao Felix, because he's really a player that I believe can go ahead and really turn around a season at Arsenal. Now, he has also gone ahead to let us know that Arsenal are in for Joao Felix, but financials on the deal will need to come down. Everyone is talking about the financials. What are the financials all about? The financials are the loan fee of £8 million, and a huge salary that it's being called for a team that is going to take him to pay. That is how much? £250,000 a week, 6 months, equating to how much is that? £250,000, that is 1,000,006, equating to £14 million a what? £14 million that entire season. I think that's not a bad. I think it's 16. I think it's in total that deal can take £16 million for 6 months. So can Arsenal raise that money? That's where the big question is. But Arsenal are in for Joao Felix. Mikel Arteta would love to go on and really join hands with the club to see to it that they really bring them that player, because that player is really unusual. You add him to that Arsenal side, obviously Man City is going to get threatened. You see, Man City is already threatened and trying to counter Arsenal on the signing of Mikhailo Mudryk. Do you know that? I've just done that story. Man City wants to hijack the Mudryk deal because they know if Arsenal gets in Mudryk, they're a different team altogether. That's it. Mudryk brings in goals and assists. The same applies to Joao Felix, and Joao Felix is available on loan and later to return to Atletico Madrid. And Arsenal would love to do such a deal, but it's all about the financial repercussions that Arsenal have to look through to see whether they can really meet this deal or not. But I believe they need to sign a player like Joao Felix. Now, I've been told by David G. Medina, known as Medina for the Marca. Marca are really a newspaper that resides in Madrid, and when you hear them late out something, that means it's proven, because they report for the two Madrid teams, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. They've told us that Jorge Mendes has proposed a loan to Manchester United, who are best placed, and Arsenal. The proposal is facing resistance as the club is in need of cash to balance their finances. So when you look at that story, it obviously stipulates out that even Arsenal have been offered this player. Jorge Mendes is working out a deal for his clients to come to the Premier League. Which two teams are they looking at? United and Arsenal. So looks like Arsenal are really trying to fast gate the deal of Mudryk done, and when the deal of Mudryk is done, they look into a deal of a player called Joao Felix. But like it or not, Arsenal need to sign a centre forward, because it has really come in early as a blessing disguise. As I told you guys, that it's a blessing disguise for Arsenal to get this injury of Gabriel Jesus early enough. Do you know why? Because if it came in through around March, it would have hit them bad. But right now they know that we shouldn't risk our season. We should go on and bring in another centre forward to make it 3 for Arsenal. But Arsenal are fast putting all their tabs on one player, Mikhailo Mudryk. Because when Mikhailo Mudryk comes in through, Mikel Arteta is 100% sure that Martinelli was just shifted from being a centre forward to a wide left forward. That's it. So I think the reason as to why he is dying to bring in Mikhailo Mudryk, he knows that the left attack instead of the midfield will be catered for after the return of MD Smith-Rowe and Mikhailo Mudryk. Then Martinelli can go ahead and really offload Nketiah the duties sometimes of leading the line for Arsenal. I believe that is his plan, and I think it's going to work out well because it looks well calculated. But I believe if they bring in Joao Felix, it will be something better to go on and really accredit and be happy for, because he is really a world-proven striker. And so I believe he's really one of the best that they should go on and sign. Now, today, Fabrizio Romano has really gone ahead to let us the quotations about Diego Simeone, having asked about Joao Felix. As said, we have good working relationship. He's important to the team. If he transmits to us what we saw at the World Cup, Joao Felix will be very important. He has a talent, and the team needs his qualities. Now, this is what a manager cannot come out in broad daylight and say about a player. Let me give you an example. Ronaldo was at Manchester United, but Ten Hag was defending him, and he never at any time come out and told us about how Ronaldo promised him that he's going to come back and tell him whether he's going to stay or not. He went ahead to release all that when Ronaldo went on to a live TV interview with Piers Morgan and said that he doesn't respect Erik Ten Hag. Erik Ten Hag is a man who doesn't keep his words. You get? That really happened that way. And after that, Erik Ten Hag went ahead and revealed to us how Ronaldo was keeping him on tenterhooks on either staying or not. You get? And he never told him that he wants to leave. That's it. Ronaldo came back after 7 days and told him, okay, I want to stay. After no team had really shown interest in him, because United told Ronaldo, if you want to leave, get a team that's going to pay us £15 million and you leave. But Ronaldo failed to get that team. So you see how ugly it got at the club of Manchester United. So right now, Simeone is really trying to smear around the situation of Joao Felix, that they are really having a good relationship. But the story came out from Atleti and Marca that the player has fallen out with Diego Simeone. He's fed up of being played in a pragmatic system that doesn't showcase his full style of play. That is it. So it was really something that no one would expect to happen like that. But obviously the player wants to leave. But the manager is doing that because the player is still having a contract with them. But the day Joao Felix leaves Atletico Madrid permanently, not on loan, you are going to hear what is happening in the dressing room, or what was happening there, and Joao Felix will come out and let the cat out of the bag. But Diego Simeone is trying to smear the situation with Vaseline to see to it that it looks shiny, but Joao Felix doesn't have a very good relationship with him. Now, let's talk about the outgoings of Arsenal. Simon Collins is a football writer for the Evening Standard. All else, he is a correspondent for Arsenal at the Evening Standard. He has told us that there is unlikely to be any negotiable outgoings at Arsenal in January, with Mikel Arteta having previously described his squad as being short or thin. One player who could leave is Cedric Soares. Fulham are leading the race for him. But Bayern and Villarreal are also interested. He continued to let us know that Fulham are expected to make a formal offer to Arsenal defender and long-term target Cedric in the coming days, both alone with an obligation to buy, and a permanent deal is being considered. Fulham face competition from Atletico Madrid and Bayern Leverkusen. So, one of those players that you could expect to leave Arsenal in the winter transfer window is Cedric Soares, because for him, his services are no longer needed at Arsenal. Arsenal are really having Tomiyasu, Benny White as the right backs. Then he has nowhere to play. Sometimes they used to switch him onto the left side of the full back, but he never really played there very well. But this time round, they're having a Zinchenko and a Kientieni doing that job very well. So that means he's left with no option, and I believe Arsenal will find it very easy to sell this player because they won't miss him, because they no longer need him. So Cedric Soares looks like his leaving Arsenal is really near, and anytime from now, expect that to happen in a nick of time. But their other two teams, Bayern Leverkusen and Villarreal, are really wanting this player, and that works like a charm for Arsenal, because every time they are close to 2-3 suitors going in for a player that you have, loan deal is rarely negotiable, and secondly, if it's a permanent deal going to be done, a lot of money will be coming to the pockets of Arsenal, not so, and that's what Arsenal want. So Cedric Soares is left with Vienna on his contract. I believe he can turn around things at Arsenal. Now, lastly, as we end this episode, this player, Cody Gakpo, whom I told you that he was undergoing his medical, he passed it. Obviously, he has been unveiled as a Liverpool player. That is Cody Gakpo holding the shirt of Liverpool. And he is Cody Gakpo into the training kit of Liverpool at Mailwood. Then there, Cody Gakpo putting pen to paper on his contract at Liverpool, and lastly with the gaffer of Liverpool having the first hug in between themselves, that is Jurgen Klopp. So guys, what are your thoughts on to Cody Gakpo joining Liverpool? They've unveiled him officially today, but he is going to play for them in their game they're going to play in January, not the game they're going to play, I think, on the 31st or 1st of, I think the 30th. Is Liverpool playing on 1st or 31st? One of those. So that is Liverpool for you, and he has been unveiled as a player for Liverpool. So what are your thoughts of Arsenal seriously interested in Joao Felix? Dive into that, and I really want to know your honest opinions onto that. Then secondly, what do you think about Cedric Soares being up for grabs for a club called Fulham, Villarreal and Bayern Leverkusen? So Arsenal is willing to sell, but they are waiting for the best offer from any of those three teams, trying to get this 30-year-old Portuguese onto their teams. Rokani David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. And don't forget, to subscribe, guys, and hit the notification bell that will enable you to get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly. A sign out, guys. Good night. See you later tomorrow. But Man City has won by 2-0 today, and Arsenal is now back to the 5-point lead that they were ahead of Man City by the time we went into the World Cup break, and they are really there with with Newcastle displaced from the second position, and Man City are back in the second position.